Hey everyone! I am here looking at our South Wildflower garden. The tour I did of this when this garden is in bloom is one of our most watched videos, along with Steve's IBC totes, the rainwater collection system. So I wanted to show you though what the South Wildflower garden looks like in March in north central Ohio. So I think the main word that I could say is it looks stalky. What do you think? Is that right? Vroom, let's go a little faster. So I'm walking along here and I'm showing you what's left of the plants from last year, 2020. So this is March 2021, and I've done a little bit of trimming in here. You can see some goldenrod stalks. These are some of the pithy plants that I've talked about before and that Heather Holm has really studied to see if native bees will use, and they do if you cut them off about 2 feet or so. And you can see there's also plants that I have not cut back. And that's really important too, because there's a ton of seed heads on here. Now there might not be many seeds left, but there might be. There's also a lot of insects overwintering on these plants. And there's also cover offered in this big tangle for small mammals, snakes, frogs, toads, anything that you can think of that's native and non-native around here. I have usually found them out here. And so I used to, I think, clean this up a lot more. And then I just really started thinking about that and paying attention to what nature does. And nature does not, quote, clean up in the way that we humans do. And I think a lot of what I did early on was detrimental to the insect life and all of the mammals that were living in here, and reptiles and amphibians who I just mentioned. And so I stopped doing it. And it was pretty easy to do, even with it looking stalky like this, once I thought about the other lives in here. So this again is not just about me. It's not just about Steve. It's not just about any one human or any one life. It's about many. And so that changes everything. Then suddenly you can see this differently, and you can say, I'm okay with this looking like this right now because I know all the lives that this is supporting, and I also know that these plants will continue decomposing and they will nourish this soil, which actually needs some nourishment, and it's a lot less work for me. Wow! It's a wonderful process. So here we go. We'll just continue the tour. You can see our well right there. We put that in when we got here, and that's part of the reason this area could use some nourishment, because it brought up a lot of subsoil when they dug that in here, and has behaved a little interesting in terms of growing plants. But these thick stalks are cut plants, and they all actually blew over in a windstorm. So that just happened, and I still have some of my tendencies to try to make it look a little tidier, and I came in here and I started trimming, and then I kicked a rabbit out of here. And rabbits are the main herbivore we have here that nip some of our plants, but not very many, and it's just a few woodies that they work on. So we've learned to cage those, and we actually really love rabbits. They're a pretty cool animal, and they do a lot of interesting work in the world. And so they need cover here. One of our biggest struggles that we have had with land restoration is something that I did not anticipate, naively, I suppose, but is neighborhood cats and neighborhood dogs. And they have come over here since we have really got this nature preserve cranking, because there's a lot of cool life happening and they kill a lot of life. So that's something we're working on. But cover is critical, and so we're definitely going to do more videos on that on our tangles that we're working on out in the old field for bird nesting sites. And so here you can see that some of the cover is just these stalks. There are always birds under here pecking around in the plant and leaf litter. And I love sitting out here on the south side of the house and getting to watch the little voles scurry around under here and the chipmunks that live under that little deck. And so this looks a lot different than it does in bloom time, huh? And I know, I definitely understand that this is not what humans think looks nice right now, at least in certain parts of the world, and definitely certain parts of North America and Europe. And so I would say what I would recommend to you is if you're looking to add greater diversity to your land and really appreciate that functioning ecosystem, then some of this is going to be necessary. But you don't have to do it all at one time. Do little patches of it and then observe who's using these patches. So if you really got to trim, okay, we'll trim an area, but leave a part untrimmed and then watch the life that's in there. And then I guarantee you, once you start seeing all the lives in there, you'll go, oh my gosh, I can't cut that back. Oh my gosh, look at what am I doing? Why am I doing that? I promise that's exactly how it started here. And now Steve's fully into it too. I mean, it's really wild to watch him and me, and we think about all of the lives using this area and our other areas that we've done this with as well. So I will of course do another video on this wildflower patch. That's also gonna get some wild raspberries in here. They're coming up on their own from the birds. So we're gonna let some of those go. And that is a pokeweed stalk. Oh my gosh, I love pokeweed. And so I'll do that video when this is in bloom, and then you can see the remarkable fertility that comes from the old, dead, and dying plants. Okay, so here's just a little encouragement to you to say, it's okay. Let nature work herself out, and you will get there in your mind. A lot of you already are, but I know it took us a little while too. I'm definitely a tidy person, but I found that tidiness doesn't apply out here at all, and it actually is hugely detrimental to the life that we see. So there you have it. Enjoy this lengthening times of daylight. We hope you are, and we will film more for you very soon. And just remember, Jennifer and Steve say, you can do it.